Yoruba will say when you see the crowd there that day, you will know that the people are really out to receive. And we noticed, personally I noticed one thing when we got to Ife on Thursday, as contrary to what we used to witness in the past, there was that enthusiasm even from the people that were in their shops along the road as we were passing. And for the period that we were in Ife, for well over 4 or 5 hours that the campaign lasted at the Anova Square, there was no single incident of crisis. I knew that when we started our campaign, 2007 at Ile-Ife, we used the stadium that day. Everybody ran escalator by the time we were to finish. When the everybody was entering into our midst, but on Thursday, everything went peacefully, and it's been our focus, because we said it that our campaign will be issue-based. We are not going to go there saying this, saying that. What are the things that we have been able to do in the past 3.5 years? What are the things that we are doing currently, and what are those things that we want to do in the coming 4.5 years? That is what the governor has been doing, and he's been doing it well.
Before we go into looking into other itineraries, where you have just talked, the campaign issues. What are the issues?
The issues are clear. One, we have to touch on every areas of the administration of the governor. One thing the governor mentioned very well at Ile-Ife of Thursday was that yes, so he didn't have the money to buy private jets for our traditional rulers, and he didn't have the money to even buy people's conscience and their foods, but he has the brain, the intellect, and the wherewithal to manage whatever resources, how little they may be, for the benefits and the welfare of the people of Osun. That is the focus of the campaign in Ile-Ife on Thursday. And before the governor wanted the rostrum, some of the leaders, some of the groups, they came up, the tailors, the welders, the artisans, every group, they came up to express their support for the governor and his administration. And you will see that even before the governor came out of the palace, some of us, we have wanted the rostrum to talk on what were the achievements of the government in the past 3.5 years, what were the things that the governor has been able to do, and what are those things that he's going to be doing. The governor just only needs to come around in 5, 10, 15 minutes, round it up, and...
Okay, let's look at what the governor has done before we come into what he's doing, before we begin to make promises of what you are going to do. If you don't know where you are coming from, you know where you are, not to talk of where you are going. So where are we coming from as far as when you told last administration is concerned?
Thank you very much. That is a very pertinent question for us to answer. In 2018, when the governor took over the administration of Osun State, he promised that if there are some things that the outgoing administration did which may require him to review, he will do that if there are public demand and outcry. And let's take this for example. Let's look at the educational sector. In the education sector, we discover that the outgoing administration initiated some educational reform in the state of Osun between 2012 and 2013, which caused some little issues. After listening to the outcry of the members of the public, the governor set up a panel which reviewed some of the policies and came up with the report that assisted us in having peace in Osun today. One, we were able to do away with single uniform. Two, some of those schools that used to be girls only or boys only, which we merged, were separated. Three, even some of them are even returned to their initial owners, and they are in peace in the education sector in the state of Osun. And two, let us look at the health sector. In the health sector, the first thing the governor did was ensuring that in all the 332 INEC wards in Osun, there will be no ward where you will not be able to have easy access to health care. He ensured that all the primary care centers in all the 332 wards were renovated, were equipped with drugs and personnel. Today in Osun, you don't need to first jump from one ward to the other before you are taken care of. If there are difficulties, the health officials will bring whoever is involved to the general hospital here in Osogbo. But you are sure that in every of the wards, at least you will get attention the moment there is any health challenge. And the general hospitals too, we are building, the governor built doctor's quarters at the Ashubiaro. We governor renovated the 120-bed general hospital in Ejigbo. This same thing in Osogbo, and even some other NGOs, groups that are not even governmental, they collaborated with the governor in ensuring that at least they assisted in the area of healthcare. For example, our own Lions Club, we collaborated with the government here in building a $300,000 high clinic at Ashubiaro, which is fully operational now. And aside that, the governor also ensured that constitutionally, the two things that a governor must do is to ensure that there is security and the welfare of the people are taken care of. And ensuring that the welfare of the people are taken care of, the governor ensured that no matter what the situation of the economy is, workers have been earning their full salary from the onset of his admission up to now. And also in the payment of pension and gratuity, the government devoted a huge amount of money monthly, 708 million, to the payment of pension and gratuity. Up to about 5 months ago, when the governor magnanimously decided to even increase it again to 950 million per month. We might not be able to offset totally the entire pension areas, but everybody knows that if we have had a governor with such a commitment like Oyetola towards payment of pension and gratuity, we will have been able to clear all these areas. But I believe that by the time we come in for a second term, within 2-3 years, we should be able to clear all these areas of gratuity and pensions.
We'll come to that. What is he doing presently?
What the government is doing presently?
Yes.
When you discover that government is continuity, infrastructural development in Osun is the main focus and concern of the governor now. Governor, maybe some few days ago, decided that we don't have to say a road belongs to the federal government. The people planning the road, they are your own citizens. And if the federal government did not come on time to come and fix what belongs to them, you cannot allow, or you should not allow your people to continue to suffer. That was what prompted the governor to flag off the reconstruction and rehabilitation of Lameko Osogbo to Okini, to Ilogu, to Ifa Osun and Osun roads, which is ongoing now. And that is not the only road that the government is doing presently.
Before we move to other roads, did you listen to one of the political parties speaking on that particular road?
Rambling.
You are saying that. That is your choice of words. How do you see that dimension to the whole thing?
The problem
have been awarded before, and the government shouldn't have gone there again.
The problem with us in Nigeria is we always tend to play politics with everything.
Okay.
If you say this would have been awarded before, what is the federal government that holds the road that says that we have already doing? Is the contractor that they award the road to there? Are they doing anything on the road? We always want to play politics with everything. It is clear before we lay our hands on any projects, roads especially, we will take pictures, graphic pictures of what the situation was by the time we are taking over, and by the time we finish, we take what we have been able to do and what we have achieved. The person that is saying they have awarded this, where is the tractor or the contractor that has been doing this? Because if you say for for about well over 10 years now. We have been hearing we will do reform Osogbo road in the federal budget. Have they been doing anything? We don't have to wait. By the time we do it as a government that is caring, that has the interest of its people at heart, by the time we finish, we will send the bill to them to offset their indebtedness.
Okay, to other roads before this one.
And before this one, there is no area in Osun that has not felt the impact of the government. I always keep saying it that under democratic administration, when you pick the governor as number 1, you pick the deputy as number 2, you pick the speaker as number 3. For 22 years of democratic rule in Osun, Ede Ejigbo sector have produced the speaker for 20 years. For that 20 years, the roads around those areas were terribly unpassable. The governor promised that under 9 months, he will fix it. Moving from Osogbo, daily years around about today, and go to Ejigbo, within 20 minutes, you are in Ejigbo. From Ede Okigada, go to Ejigbo, it is express. That is to tell you that this is a governor that has the feelings of the people at heart. It did not stop there. In my own town, Ibadan, the road linking Ibadan to Ada, about 30 kilometers, was terribly unpassable for 33 years. The governor, when he was campaigning in 2018, came around and promised the cabinet that if I get there, I will fix this road. He did it under 9 months. Today, when you stand at stadium in Osogbo, under 30 minutes you're in Ibadan. And let's go to Ife side. General Alani Akinade said for 46 years they have been looking for who is going to build them out with the terrible roads around the 7 Olugo communities. Ipetumodu, Yakoyo, Moro, Edwabon, Ashipara. Government other promises will do it. I did it. He didn't stop there. Go to Famia Road, go to Modakeke, Famabake Road. Everything is ongoing. Go to Ife Township itself. We were there when we were there on Thursday. You can see that they were laying stone base preparatory to putting the asphalt on the major road entering the town. How will you now say you will not support such a person? When you see that this is somebody that is really working night and day to ensure that the state progresses. That is Governor Buiga Oyetola for you, and that is why everybody is rooting for him. And we know that by the grace of God, come 16th of July this year, he will coast home easily for his second term as governor in Osun.
Okay, we said we were looking at this area, what he had done, what he is doing. Yes, we have seen that. But hope is the tonic that keeps life going. A lot of people are often afraid when it comes to second term. They will say, those political officers work in their first term or in the second term. What should Osun people be expecting in the second term of Oyetola?
Thank you very much. All these rules that I've been mentioning, they are not the totality of the rules that are bad in Osun.
Okay.
Areas that have not felt the impact of government, they should expect that by the special grace of God, when Oyetola comes back as governor for his second term in November this year, it will come to their turn. I will give us this example. We all knew the enormity of the debt body Governor Oyetola inherited, and the state has been paying this debt. And I know that by the time we are going to enter into the second term of the governor, we will have finished payment of whatever debts that the state owed. And to the glory of God, we discover that now the governor did not even borrow a kobo up to now. And that is to tell you that this is the man that knows what he is doing. We are going to ensure that areas that have not felt the impact of governance will be touched. The workers, there are a lot of things with workers. We know that there is this backlog of areas of half salary that is there. By the special grace of God, is going to be clear. It is not that the governor is not ready to do it or is not eager to do it, But when you see that, okay, this is a state with a salary bill of about 3.something billion per month, and we have seen months that the government did not even get more than 300-something million from Abuja, and you have to pay 3.something billion as salaries. And we know that the governor had given his commitment during the May Day that he's going to look into this and clear this thing. We know that by the time all these things, by the time he comes back, all these things will be cleared off, and there will be no burden of somebody owing us our salary or whatever again. And that is not the only thing. The education sector have experienced a lot of turnaround. For the first time in the history of Osun, we have a government that is in place for 3.5 years without a single record of protest from students. Even out of nothing, the government is paying bursary. That is to tell you that this is a government that cares for the indigent. And when the governor was campaigning in 2018, he never promised that he would provide food for the indigents. For over a year now, 30,000 households have been provided with food every month by the Without administration. That is to tell you that this is a governor that cares about, like me, the burden that the people of the state are facing. There are a lot of things that are still done. What we want to turn Osun to in the second tenure of Oyetola is changing the face of Osun from being looked at as a civil service state. We want to improve the industrial sector. We discovered that when the governor convoked the economic summit, he came out with 3 ideas: working on our tourism sector, working on the mining sector, and agriculture. We are going to ensure that those 3 areas are concentrated on in the second term of Governor Oyetola. If you go to all these Ijesha areas now, you see that a lot of companies are showing interest in coming around to come and mine for gold. And when they mine for gold, definitely something come to the purse of the government, and our economy will be improved at least, and the people will feel the impact. That is part of what the governor is preparing for in the second term, okay, which we know is good.
Talking about the mining sector, presently, how is it in Osun?
Well, there are quite 1, 2, 3 other foreign companies that are working there, and even indigenous companies. The only thing is that they have not been able to attain appreciable results that will lift up and bring a high boost to the economy of the state. But I know that at least with time, definitely we are going to get there.
Okay. Now, let's continue with the itinerary of the governor. How would it look like in the days ahead?
Well, in the days ahead, we have been able to prepare an itinerary that will take, after the flag off, we have been able to prepare an itinerary that will take the governor to all the other local governments in 29 days. Hopefully by tomorrow, we are going to be in Aidade local government. So the governor first visiting really will come into Great Kabiyesi in Odeomu before we have our campaign rally at St. Paul's, Bogon. The idea, just like I said, is the governor said he wants to visit every local government in the states, and by Tuesday, the following day, just 24th, we should be in Boduaduro local government. And after Tuesday, there is going to be some break, because from Wednesday to Friday, we are supposed to have the primaries to pick our candidates for the next year election. And from Saturday to Tuesday too, we are supposed to be in Abuja for our presidential primaries. So before we now start again, it's going to be maybe the 4th or the 5th of June before we continue to run the program as we have listed them there.
Okay, let's look at the way the campaign is doing, what you have listed as likely thing that will come in between, and the possibility of ensuring that all these local governments are touched. Would there be occasions that you have to lump these local governments together?
Well, by We are praying that we should be able to stick to the program as we draw them.
Okay.
Because if we are able to stick to the program as we draw them, there will be no reason for us to lump local government together.
Okay.
But you know that there are some circumstances that you cannot guide against. Most times now, they might say the governor should come for an assignment in Abuja, he should come and do this, he should come and do that. You cannot say he should not go. So if situations like that arises, we will have a way of adjusting the campaign schedule, at least to ensure that all local governments are accommodated.
Okay. This one will have to do not just with your own party, but the relationship of your party with others as far as this campaign period is concerned, such that there will be peace and tranquility in the state preparatory
To the election.
There was a day that news was filtering in town. Candidate so was passing here. Your own candidate also passing there. How do you ensure, and as far as the campaign scenario is concerned, that there won't be clash?
Well, the day you mentioned, we were not campaigning. The governor finished praying at the mosque. I was going back when his convoy ran into the people that were doing street show. I think, just like you have shown concern, that we should appeal to the security operatives to do their job the way it should be done. When the party is requesting for permit to hold their campaign, the security operatives must ensure that they stick to the schedule of what they have in their letters. Because if you say you are campaigning at Freedom Park and you start roaming the street from Freedom Park station roads to the palace everywhere, that is outside what you put in your campaign schedule. Yes, your cover might be coming for the campaign. Nobody said they should not come, but for you now to be doing street shows around that area, right? I know that as for us, we are going to release our schedule of campaign not only to the security operatives, police, SSS, we are going to release it to INEC too, and we are going to ensure that we stick by them. And I know that if you are going to local government A, definitely the security operative will not allow another party to come to that local government when we are there. And we too will not go to another local government when we know another party is there. That is the way to ensure peace. We are a peace-loving party. APC is a peace-loving party in the state, and what we have been preaching is for everybody to live in peace and harmony with each other, to ensure that the people outside are not put under unnecessary fear. The state belongs to each and every one of us. Election is supposed to be an opportunity for the electorate to decide that, candidate A, B, C is who I want to lead me. Not anybody doing it for supply. Not anybody preaching fire for fire. We are not ready to do any fire for fire. We are only going to go out to tell the people what we tell doing, what we have been doing, what we do when we come there. And we are going to ensure that we do it under an atmosphere of peace.
You know, I asked that question because your party is a ruling party in the state for now. And the security of lives and property or residents of the state rest on the shoulders of the ruling party and the government in the state. In terms of security arrangements for this campaign, how has it been?
Perfect. We have ensured that at least one, our campaign will not disrupt economic activities of where we are going, and two, nobody's life will be put under any danger. All the security operatives, police, DSS, Amatekun, Hunters Group, even the OES that are not security, they are support group, all of them have always been on duty wherever we are going. And we have said it, we are a peace-loving party, and we have a government that loves peace. Even if you say we are a peace-loving party and you have an head that doesn't allow for peace. Definitely there is no way there won't be crisis one way or the other. But we have a governor that is peace-loving and godly. He will never allow anybody to breach the peace. Osun is peaceful. Osun is noted as the most peaceful state in Nigeria. I want that record to remain and to be sustained.
Okay. Let's look at your party. How prepared is APC for this election?
Very, very prepared. What other thing do we even need to measure or gauge our preparedness? We had our party's governorship primaries on the 19th of February this year. And when we were having it, for the first time we said, we even want to see how prepared the party members are. Let's use direct primary. 222,000 party members came out to vote for Governor Yetola. 247,000 members came out for the exercise, out of which 222 voted for Yetola. We have a registered membership for APC of 407,000 in Osun. So if we could be able to garner 222,000 people coming out to vote in our own primaries alone, definitely if we now make it an assignment for each of you, get one of voters to join you. That's over 400,000. We are coasting on to victory by the grace of God.
You know, I asked that question in view of the need, like they say, for the house to be together, or when you have a force going to a battle, to be united in terms of having a united front. All the internal, how do I put it? Do I say bickering?
Bickering, crisis,
or earlier pronounced, not just to the rooftop, but right there, even in the sky. To what extent? What extent that they said to are said to go to this election?
You know, we made so much noise about the internal bickering, but the moment we finish the party primaries, the governorship primaries, a lot of things have come into place. Okay. I will give you, for example, now that we want to have primaries to select our candidate that will represent the party maybe in the House of Assembly, National Assembly election next year. Our brothers on the other side that says that they are not happy with the process. They didn't go to PDP to collect funds. They came to APC, they knew who is in charge. They came to APC to collect funds. When they want to come for their screening, those that say that they were not happy, they didn't go to their usual Thursday meeting venue to go and do screening. They came to the party secretariat. That is to tell you that all of us know that there is only one single party, APC. We may have little differences. I know that all these differences will settle finally before July 16. All the people that are saying that maybe they are angry, they are coming back home now, and we are accepting
negotiation and give and take.
I'm not in the position to negotiate for anybody. The governor is there. If anybody wants to end this negotiation, they will approach the governor and the leadership of the party.
Okay, let me see if we'll be able to take a call or two in the course of this program. The number 08069573792 will be right there on the screen. I hope the VTR MCR will put the number on the screen 08069573792. To whom much is given, much is expected. First start from members of your own political party. Before we move to the generality of the people, what APC and Governor Adiboye Yetola is expecting from them. Let's start from your party members.
Well, just like you said, to whom much is given, much is expected. We all know that for anybody to want to become anything, even if you want to become ordinary councillor, you will serve your governor in place. That is why members of our party, APC, has no other option than to ensure that all of us work together to ensure that we vote mass. Governor Boyega Itola come 16th of July. Yes, some people may be saying we have not been able to get anything. I know that the sun that is upstairs is sufficient enough to dry the cloth. If you are not be able to get anything now, the second time is there, everybody will be cared for. So my appeal or my is appeal not shall to other party members that might be feeling agrees is that they should be patient and work for the success of the party. If you say you have not gotten anything and you want to work for the opposition will not even recognize you. That is why we must all ensure that we work together and ensure that Governor Boyega Itola gets his second term in office.
Now, beyond the party members, because it's not all about party members, let's start from the various groups in the state. At least enabling environment for businesses, artisans, all these groups to ply their trades. What exactly you see? Because I know this period now everybody will be running to get some of these groups.
Well, the only advice to the group is that just like the ordinary Hausa man will tell you, if you want to sell a medical drug to him, he will ask you the question, have you used this for such ailments before? We have all tested Governor Boyega Itola for 3.5 years now, and we have seen that he is somebody to be trusted. My appeal to each and every one of us outside is that we should rally around him. It is him being there that will guarantee peace and harmony in the state, that will guarantee development. We will ensure that at least no area is left untouched, and every of the other groups, market women, artisans, definitely the state belongs to all of us. We will ensure that we work jointly together to move it forward.
Now, before we go, I want us to look at the possibility of the forthcoming primaries for other levels of aspirants and elections, House of Assembly, National Assembly, presidential election. To what extent will it affect the party as far as because when you look at the closeness
of the primaries to the election,
well, people are trying, the battery is low. I don't know why that is okay.
Well, for us, we do everything to ensure that we create a level playing ground for all the aspirants. If we have 4 or 5 aspirants in the constituency, and all of them knows that the party and the leadership did not do anything to be seen as being partisan, definitely whatever is the outcome of the election will be acceptable to all. For example, assuming that by the time we wanted to have the governorship primary election, if we decide that, oh yes, we are the one that have all the elected party officials, that delegates, we said, let's use indirect. Our other contestants, we feel that we want to oppress them. But for us to show them that we don't have any hidden agenda, we said, let's use direct. Yes, you have leaders in the party, you have members in the party. If you have followership, bring them out, let them come and stand up for you. So if we are able to do that for the various House of Assembly, National Assembly positions, definitely all the aspirants, we accept the outcome, and whoever emerges, they will all rally around to support the person.
So maybe there will not be consensus, everybody will go and try this or I don't that there. So that the leadership will be seen not to belong this or that as far as the aspirants are concerned.
There may not be cause. Don't let us say there may not be consensus. For some of the seats,
okay,
we have seen that maybe a single candidate has been returned for some of the seats.
Okay.
At least for Osun Central Senatorial seat,
okay.
It was only the incumbent senator that have been returned unopposed.
Okay.
For some of the House of Reps, Ayédáadé Wọlé Ìṣọ̀kan or the Mutago Gbogbo that is there has been returned unopposed. For Ìjẹ̀ṣà South or the Babatunde Ayeni has been returned unopposed. Some of the House of Assembly members too, few of them have been returned unopposed. That is
those ones already
settled.
Okay.
But for those that have people vying for the position with them, they will have to go to the primary from by Thursday and Friday this week.
Okay. So much today on Let's Discuss as far as the forthcoming governorship election in Osun is concerned. We have also spoken about the primaries of the APC for the House of Assembly, National Assembly, and by extension the presidential election. Before we go quickly, we look at the way the aspirants for the presidency have been moving around. Some of them have been coming to Osun.
Yes.
The way you this your spy or is it even laughter?
Well, some of them have been coming to Osun, just like you said. We have close to 30 of them that collected form.
Okay.
But we know that by the time the chiefs are down, by the time we are going to get to bring probably Saturday of this week, the field should have been narrowed down to 4 or 5.
Okay.
We will know those that are really serious and that those that are really there to support the numbers. To make up the numbers. The sitting vice president was here on Friday and we received him enthusiastically here. All fact remains that the Yorubas we say for us in Osun, we are one big family and we are a united family. And I know that by the time we get to Abuja, all Osun delegates will vote one way and we know where we are voting.
Is there any possibility of using consensus to sort out this thing?
I doubt it. The only way we can have consensus is if the 29 of them withdraw for that. For Ahmed.
Okay. At that aspects, let me appreciate you for being with us on this program. The politician that you have spoken as one. Though not oblivious of the fact that you have to pay particular attention to. We appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
We pray that all will be well as far as these elections are concerned, whether at the primary level or the main election, the governorship election come July 16 this year. And that will make all to be well with Osun. And now, once again, Honorable. Yes, Chief, so many titles. Sunday Akere for being on this program. Thanks to our viewers, thanks to all those who have been involved in this particular production. From the MCR, VTR, camera unit, audio, TriCaster, we appreciate you. Until next week, when we meet again with another personality, Akonda Olabi is my name. Bye-bye for now.